In this video, we're going to play a game. Lucky trade or insider trade? I have something I'm going to share with you that's very interesting. My name is Joshua Bellinger of Countervest, and on August 26th, I posted this tweet on Twitter, like many others, not always right, but interesting things like this, that this stock, TROX, was seeing an interesting buyer in the October 23 and September 25 calls, and they came in at the same time. So what that means is that a buyer, and this was posted at about 15 minutes to the close here, that with 15 minutes to the close, that an aggressive buyer is coming in and they had bought the September calls and the October at the same time. Now we'll take a look here at the option chain. This is thinly traded. That's why it's interesting and would be unusual on the premise of seeing this type of positioning. Unusual doesn't always mean big trades. It just means something unusual in a specific stock like TROX that you're seeing this activity here. So if you want more trade ideas like this, or what I'm going to start doing as well as publishing my watch list, head over to Countervest and sign up and you'll be notified of those, because I'm not going to always create videos such as this walking through it. We're going to communicate through emails. So what we're taking a look here is this TROX. Let's take a look at what happened today. Got a big pop, and the pop from 20 to 25 was due to news hitting the newswire that Apollo Group was looking to buy this company for about $27 a share. Now, there's no specifics behind it. It wasn't specifics on the aspect of, is it a all cash deal? Is it all stock deal? You know, there's those nuances that come into it as well. So this is not just simply, hey, let's go find some activity beforehand. This is, hey, not only did we see this activity, sure, as we look at now, somebody knew something, potentially. I'll let you decide that. A lot of times what happens is, and my point is that people will find something like this and then go back and say, hey, look at this trade X amount of days ago, or so-and-so. It doesn't necessarily mean it was unusual or as an insider. You're just backtracking into it. Here, this is interesting buying, positioning into this stock where we're seeing this, and it's also been highlighted. There's a record. There's a chain of command here. There's a chain of record that we're not just going back and saying, hey, look, this is this, that. This is difficult stuff as well. We're going to talk about how this individual not only was right, but wrong, just simply seeing his small fortune evaporate into back to where essentially they bought. One of the positions is a little bit higher, but let's take a look here. Let's go back to the 26 here. Let's look at this activity. So this is the activity here. Now, I'm not going to walk through the whole option chain montage for you, but more calls traded than puts and more focus on the call side. So when you look at this, this is why you need a system, a monitor to be able to monitor this, because this is just one stock out of over 2,000 stocks here. So to follow this kind of stuff daily, within seconds, you need to have a system, electronic eye in the marketplace watching this. So the activity that we're talking about here was first this September, this buyer coming in here. I think they came in about 25 cents. They came in on the offer, or near the offer, which pushed the market here. And then they also came in on those 23rds as well, or the 23 strike here. That was the most meaningful. So when you look at this, it says, Josh, why did this stand out? Well, this was thinly traded. I mean, you compare stocks to that stock, to itself. This at the time was activity where they're buying they bought this 500 block here and they bought the other September block at the same time, 15 minutes to the close, and they bought it on the offer at the same time. That's what's unusual. It doesn't necessarily mean something on the lines of this big volume that happens. A lot of people get misguided by that. So when we look at this, okay, why are they buying an option contract with 22 days to expiration that at the time stock closed at 21.20, they're paying on the offer for a 25 strike, it has to exceed 25 plus the premium they paid. Then on this 23rd, which makes a little bit more sense, they come in, they have 50 days, but they're coming in at 23. So this was almost what I would say, if I was looking at this, is that this person had some information. Because it was the same trade. We don't know that for sure. The only way that we know that is because it happened and executed within milliseconds. So we can make our best assumption, same trader coming in, no one else coming in buys buys these contracts at the same time in different expirations. Now, the 23 would make a little bit more sense because it has more time to expiration. The 25 is almost like a banger. It's like it's a lotto ticket. It's like, hey, I know something's going on, and I'm going to put a little bit of money that could turn into a lot of money, which it did. This actually was up at one point over 1,000%, but then it went away just as quick. so let's take a look at that here. What else is interesting as well is that someone actually added on to this position the following day on a Friday here. So this is interesting when you start to see positioning like this, and then you see kind of that repeat activity into this position. Now, again, this is not something that sticks out like a sore thumb where people are talking about it. From what I saw, I'm the only one to post about this information. So take that for what it is. Luck, who knows? So they didn't really come. They didn't come back for the 23s or the 25s. I'm sorry, 25s, and they added on to the 23s if we went on another day here. And look, go on a Monday, we can see that 1,000 contracts added, so forth. So, anyways, let's go back to this 25 here, and let's copy this, and let's look at the chart here. So, as you can see here, this is the frustration and the euphoria that most traders fall in love with the options. You can see here, nothing's going on here, and then all of a sudden you get this big pop. We're looking at a minute chart here. We get a pop to $3, and then it fizzles back down to about 76 cents. So even on that 25 cents, they did make 50 cents on that contract, but then it slowly fizzles back out. So I mean that's the frustration with a lot of this, because let's say if that deal did get done at $27 per share, then they would own the shares at 25, and then they have $2 of upside. So this individual, at this point, from my experience or what I'm looking at here, just the timely of the trade and the news that comes out afterwards, interesting to be positioned like that. So they did the 25, and they would have had, you pay 25 cents and they had $2 of upside, and then you take the $25 paid per contract, and that's the overall upside on there. The 23s have much more upside, paid a little bit more for that, and that's that profit on that one. So if we went back and just took a look here at those profits, and that's that's the fun thing, but also the frustrating thing on options trading, is that this is what happens. So if we go back to the Analyze tab here, look at those 23s, and I think they were coming. Let's say they bought them at 95 cents, right? Let's just say they bought them at 95 cents. So at 95 cents, here, all of a sudden 245, and then just within a matter of minutes, this goes from wow, this is like a flash on your chart, holy moly, to wow, deflated. But this is the aspect of following unusual option activity, following this type of activity, because there are footprints. This is very speculative, though. I mean, I don't want to misguide any of you and say that there's an easy solution, because trying to make a living based off of following this type of activity is completely difficult. It's exciting. I trade it, but I also understand that there's a very speculative side to this type of trading. So, while I say that, it's interesting, we can find a lot of orders per day that you could say, hey, that's interesting, or this person could have been wrong as well. I've been in some positions like this with an individual that knew ahead of the news. I followed that activity, and they were wrong on the strike selection. And that's why it's always difficult to know who, even if you see this, you have to position for the fact of, one, do they actually know what's going on here? And, they may think that a deal, let's say it was done at $27. It could be a deal where it's $23 of stock and then $4 of cash, which, completely kills the deal. It doesn't make it the same deal. And probably the reason why we did see this stock move higher here to 25, even though the deal supposedly is at 27, and then fade back down here. So there's not a lot of details on this as of yet. But again, somebody knew something, my opinion. Now, you could say they're lucky, or a little birdie told that person on something else here. But this is the interesting aspect of following option activities such as this. But even that person who acted on this information, who somehow was very timely, didn't even get paid. Didn't even get paid on the fact of that they were right because of how options work. There's the very lucrative side of it, and then there's the challenge of you get the move, and it could still work out for this person. if the SEC doesn't go knocking on their door, it could still work on it for them for this timely trade here. But that's being if it gets done at $27. But again, I just wanted to do a case study here of, hey, informed trader or lucky trader, who knows? Here's what happened. Here's that information that was posted ahead of time. Here's why this was interesting, and going from there and being able to identify those types of opportunities. I do it. And again, if you want these type of opportunities delivered to your inbox, once a week I'm going to be doing a watch list providing these types of ideas following the hot money. Head over to CounterVest, sign up, put your email in, and you also get daily tips and tricks as well that I don't create videos for, that I only publish to my audience. So make sure you like the video below and subscribe. I'll see you in the next one, and let me know in the comments below, lucky or informed. Take care.